6 p.m. All those present would be Brenda Sweet, myself, chairperson, committee member Ben Baer, and Administrator Kevin Seifert. The rest of the room is empty. Topic of discussion, brainstorming area the equipment housing for the new sports park. And Kevin found, got a price for us for a possible freestanding building on the site. And we were talking about all the equipment that we have and how tight it currently is, and moving other equipment out of the current buildings that are housing equipment. And we wanted to come up with some ideas, one of which was sort of my idea. Because of where the current equipment is, two things. One, if we leave the equipment there and we're able to acquire on the map, I'm just going to, since Kevin already knows where it is, I'll show you on the map. From the water tower, see the water tower? Mm-hmm. Okay, from that's where the equipment is now, right in that area. If we could acquire a strip of land from the private ownership right there, that lot down towards the park, then we wouldn't even have to go out on the street for any use of equipment in the park area. They could just go right straight down there. Now, my idea was to possibly, since we have the land at the church across the street, not have to put equipment there, obviously, because it'd have to go through the village, etc., to get down to the park, but to actually move Enon Relief down to that lot at the church, at the empty spot at the church.
The house is still there.
He's indicating it up.
Yeah, the house is still there on this GIS.
On the map, but the house is, we know the house is gone. Mm-hmm. And put Enon Relief there because they would have plenty of parking with this church parking lot, have plenty of room, and then utilize the space where their building currently is to put a building for equipment and have all the equipment together for use throughout the community, the village, instead of just put it down on the park and just be able to use it for the park area, if we were able to get the access road through that private property. So that was sort of my idea.
What's the likelihood of us getting a strip?
Right.
What's that now?
What's the likelihood of us getting a strip?
I don't know.
Because my understanding is those folks aren't too fond of this park anyways.
Exactly. So I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
where is Enon Relief currently located?
Right, where's the tower?
Right here.
There, see, he's going to show you up there.
Right there.
I can see it right there.
Well, it's actually the little building next to what I just pointed out to you, I think.
So would we have to build them a building there if we do that, or we just sell them the property and they have to buy their own building?
We own the property.
We own the property
building,
here.
Right? We own that one.
Uh-huh.
So it'd be nice of us if we could make them a building, and I'm sure they would like a larger building even for all the stuff. As a matter of fact, at one point in time, I know they had people offering to give them furniture and they had no place to store it for people that needed it. They were asking for people with storage units to store some of it. So and I don't know what their funding is or who their funding is other than volunteer stuff. That's why I asked who was in charge there. We might want to, if that's something that's a possibility that we wanted to check into, find out who's in charge there and see what their thoughts are on that. And also we would have to get an agreement with the church to use the parking lot that day. Because they're only open on Mondays except holiday Mondays, then they're open on Tuesdays, and other than that, they're not there.
Right.
So those are the two possibilities, unless you've got something else that you've thought of.
I think that's an admirable idea, but I think the cost to build a building for them would be astronomical.
I do too.
Right now we're still struggling to figure out how we're going to pay for stuff at the park.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know where we would even draw the money from to build a building there. To me, if we're not going to use the property, I would say it would be better to sell it and then use that money to build a pole barn style building somewhere. Is there an issue with having the building in the new park?
I don't think so. No, I
mean,
think that was
would it
the
bother
original.
you?
Huh?
Would it bother you? I mean, that was what we originally discussed, was putting in a maintenance garage down there.
Yeah, and it would, naturally, it all depends, if you could get some sort of permission or agreement to use that area there for an access road to there, and then put a building down in here, in my opinion.
Now,
kind of out of sight, out of mind.
Would a larger building? I mean, how big of a building do we need to store what we currently have? Would this building?
I went to the
sufficient?
township and out here behind O'Reilly's,
Sure.
the township building there. We had our truck in there. They were helping us work on stuff. It's a pretty good sized building. They've got an office. They've got restrooms. They've got a drive-through bay. And I talked to Nate, and he said it was. I asked him the size, and he said it was he thought it was like 60 by 100-ish. So with that, I mean, they have. I mean, you'll have to finagle a little bit. At least they do.
Sure.
But they have a rack in there where they can work on trucks, lift them up, blah blah blah, things like that. So I just took that and 60 by 120, just in 16-foot high inside, just to have a figure for discussion.
Mm-hmm.
And I've dealt with these people before. They built us a building in Macomb in our park. It was a 30 by 40 to store our 2 mowers, and they got a workshop in there, and so it worked out pretty well. They had it that size up. Naturally, they had it up in a weekend. And then we poured the concrete in there and stuff. But anyhow, and it's a good quality, solid building.
Sure.
But I didn't, like I said, that's just. I mean, there's tons of other companies out there. I just picked that one since I knew the guy. But I think 60 by 120. We were talking to Jason. We wanted some drive-through bays where you don't have to back stuff in.
Sure.
So I
a good idea.
under there's 4 drive-through bays and 2 walk-in doors, no windows. Naturally, you're going to have to have it heated and things like that. That it's for the concrete floor and insulation under the floor. That's another $75,000 added on top of it. So you're looking.
So the initial quote here doesn't include a concrete floor.
No. Did I give my thing to? Oh, here it is.
So
No.
we'd have to put wherever we put it. We'd have to bring in electricity and plumbing.
You'd have to have. I kind of wrote down here. You'd have to have it all. You'd have to have storm sewer. You'd have to have
Right.
electric, plumbing, insulation, AC, heat, AC in part of the building, heat naturally in all of the building. You could probably do a stone lot for now, but eventually an asphalt lot like we got now. Fencing, cameras, but the 220 are. Let's see. The 151.9 plus the 75,000 for the concrete brings it up to like 227, 132, and then it's hard to estimate. You know how expensive things are nowadays. The plumbing, electric, and everything else. All that other stuff I estimated, and I estimated another 125,000. I don't know if that's high or low. I don't know. That's a good discussion point, but that would bring it up to $350,000. For that size of building.
But that could come out of ARPA possibly.
Possibly, I don't know. I'd have to check.
Are we running out of ARPA funds?
We only have 135.
Do we?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, that won't.
That's all we have left.
Oh.
That's already been earmarked towards the park, to my
Yeah.
understanding.
Right.
So,
Because we have to have that earmarked, I believe, by the end of the year,
Mhm.
completely.
that's like I said, with the 4 bays where you can drive through one side, out the other.
Is that a deal killer if we don't do that? I mean, would that even save us money, honestly, to not have the drive-through bays?
Knock it back and have 3 drive-through bays. I don't know. It's just real convenient after seeing them where you don't have to.
Totally get that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm just saying.
Right. And you can just go from there, if you want, naturally going to have some sort of office and restrooms in there, just, meeting room, whatever, office, any type of storage room or anything like that, so. But as for the location, I mean, Brenda, I like that thought, but I don't know if there's enough room where that's in for a building that size. I know there isn't.
Oh, where the
Where the Enon
Enon
relief is.
relief is. Yeah, probably not.
Not in that corner. Without,
What would the issue be with using the current lot that we have already there? I mean, that was the original plan. I know that wasn't extraordinarily, didn't make some of the neighbors happy, but
the
But they-
vacant lot there,
yeah.
You mean by the church?
by the church.
Yeah, okay, by the church.
I don't think there was an issue. I don't, building that size, I don't think it'll fit on there to have a room.
Yeah, I mean, it won't be. Yeah,
You wouldn't have the room for.
You'd have the building.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be
You wouldn't
about
have the
it.
room.
Okay.
For what we're wanting to do, you wouldn't have the room on that lot.
Yeah.
No.
So
Because you're going to
would
have
we
to.
would we do away with using the Scott Street at all? Or would we still be able to use those buildings?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one of those?
Or give, there's another thought too of hang on, let me pull it up there. Of where'd you go? Where'd you go? There it is. This metal building. Maybe have the Enon Relief use that one. Modify that one for them.
Does it have?
Or modify this one for it. That has a restroom in it. This one does not. So this
No,
block
They
building.
would need the restroom.
So use this
And-
block building and that, because that's got 1, 2, 3 bays and it has a little office right here in the corner, bathrooms back here in this corner.
Heat and AC. AC and heat.
Well, the AC is only in
The office.
the office, and heat as well. I don't know if there's heat out there, but yeah, there's heat out.
But, I mean, that's something that can be. And
But
then-
they could probably modify that block building somehow, with, I don't know. with
What's the size of that building, just so I have an idea of sizes?
the size of this building?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Approximately.
Approximately 40 by 70, maybe? I don't know, something like that. There's 3 bays there.
So this freestanding one that you're talking about adding is like twice the size.
Oh, yeah.
So if we did put them there and took the current building that they're in out, would there be room to fit that other big building that we're talking about in that spot?
In here?
And, yeah, in that whole area right there. It
No.
doesn't look like it.
No. And not have the capability of the drive-through
The
bays.
drive space and everything,
Yeah,
yeah.
there wouldn't you wouldn't have turnaround space or anything. No,
Okay, here's an idea.
because they could still utilize this building and you utilize both those buildings, and then we keep this one for incidentals or whatever.
Okay, show me the salt, where the salt is. I think I know, but
Right here.
okay. You said if you were going to empty it and re-support it, how about moving it to where the Enon Relief is, rebuild it correctly, and put the big one right there? Then you'd have access on both ends for a drive-through bays, I should say.
I just don't think that there's enough room
Even there.
even there.
Okay.
To be honest with you,
Because if you have drive-through bays, you won't need as much turnaround space, right, in the driveway area.
well, you're gonna need turnaround space back in here, and there's not enough room.
Okay.
To where you'd have to place this building out in here to give yourself enough room to swing, if you got a trailer on or things
Go
like
around,
that. Yeah, for that size of building, I don't that
Okay, so here's what we need you to do. Okay, your boys, you have fun doing stuff like this. A little model to scale with the little trucks and everything, like you're playing toys, with scale building to scale so we can see how it would all work. Can we own all of that, right? Where the trees are and everything? Out to the street or not?
we own not this house here.
Okay.
They own. There's a little shed here. We don't. Probably back to their shed right here.
Okay.
Yep, right in there is where we stop.
Okay. And then we're behind the animal clinic, whatever they call that.
The vet.
The vet, yeah.
Yep, we own all that back to here.
Okay. Okay, here's another question. Right behind our buildings right there, does
Yeah.
it start going downhill
Yes,
right
it does.
there? Okay. So we couldn't even offer to buy a half an acre right
No,
there
it-
because
it
it really
drops
wouldn't
off.
help because it
Nope. You'd
goes
have to-
downhill.
Haul in fill and pack it in, and
Yeah, no, that wouldn't work.
no, like I said, I think if that we could get access there, be granted access somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Strip of land or whatever where we lease it or own it or upkeep, and I don't know, and then put something. It'd be kind of out of sight, out of mind. Maybe square this off and have a triangle piece in here or something, someplace. Because I know that the walk path goes around here, the intended walk path
Right.
comes up along the ditch and then crosses the ditch, and he wanted to come back here and
So here,
up
okay,
here on
so
the hill and back, but.
here's another question. We definitely want it on this south side of the ditch.
Yes.
But crossing the ditch to get to what we need to do in the park area, where would you cross? Where
with
do you?
the tractors, there's the bridge down in here.
It's big enough for the tractors and the weight and
I
everything?
mean, it's going to have to be.
You have to
In my opinion, it's
Yeah.
going to have to be widened.
okay.
Because we would, like I said, we would have the building would house basically everything. I mean, we'd still have, if the Enon Relief was going to get, this block building, we'd still have this metal building to store stuff. But,
Right.
but the majority of the equipment, that's what the building is for. The majority of the equipment would be in one location.
In one location, but down
Yep.
there. Okay, I have a question for Ben. Where we would most likely put the building in that triangle there, is there fire department access there if something were to happen and need fire trucks or rescue squads to get there for the...
Well, I mean, that would be part of the plan. I mean,
I would hope,
Yeah,
yeah,
there's
that-
no way to avoid that.
No.
It would have to be
You'd have to make this
the
access in front of here. Well, see, that's another thing then. The access, that building would have to go. The current,
Right, to get
current
access.
Enon Relief would have to go to have access down here.
Right.
I guess, why is that important?
Why is
What's that?
Access
the
from
access?
there.
So it's almost like a service road to the way I think it. It's almost like a service road to that whatever building you put there. That way you don't have to come out on the street, come down here, and go through the park. You'd have to come through this area, build a service road back along this way.
I mean, we're building a road there anyways.
Our road's over here.
But
Road's
we're
on
gonna
the other side of the
We're
ditch.
building a road on the south side eventually as well. Because there's going to be a parking lot and all kinds of things on that side.
Yes, you're correct.
He's got the plan.
I'm just thinking, if parks, if you got games, if you got during work hours, I mean, just the people there, is it going to be congested? I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking that it might be a possibility.
So with your own, kind of like a dedicated service road, you wouldn't have to worry about pedestrians, or too much about pedestrians or anything like that. I just don't know.
So this area is probably out of the question because the retention pond's going in there as of now.
As of now.
Yeah.
I mean, but then, you know, the access road would come down here, and that's what I was thinking. You could, I mean, that,
It sure makes it look different when you see it like this, right? Than
Mhm.
empty spot over
Mhm.
there. Are we still doing the proposed dog area?
No,
I don't think so.
Good,
that's not going in there.
good.
I don't, yeah, that's not a good idea. That's
No,
just
yeah,
unsanitary.
too many-
People don't clean up. blah, blah,
Right,
blah.
right. So maybe instead of putting it in the corner, we put it where that proposal is there. But where do you
Well-
see, oh, this is where you see the road going in here for the parking here.
See, with this, if you put something over here, I mean, the walk path naturally is going to go back up here, and then it got changed where Rick was going to take the walk path up this hill and down. So
Yeah, because the view from
the
up here
view
is
up here. So you know, I think
gorgeous.
you would
It's
want to.
gorgeous.
It is.
It is, really is.
Once it's going to be fixed up.
But we're gonna have to
Put
put
some benches
restrooms
up
up
in
here.
there.
We're gonna put restrooms up here if we do that, you know that, right?
So, I mean, this building that you're proposing down here, though, you said you'd have office space and all these other things down here. So, I guess why do we need that stuff if we're not going to use it?
Use the current buildings.
Yeah. Why would we need a road? I guess that's why. I guess that's what I'm still
Oh, going through
confused
the
about.
private property?
I mean, if we're not going to be, I mean, you said
We-
could we coming out and going down? I mean, to me,
I
what's
guess-
the difference if we come out of a building here and go up to the village, or come out of here to the village?
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
there's just going to if we don't have something back here where you can leave the building and come up,
Yeah.
you know, naturally we're going to just have to go through the park if, you know, if there's stuff going, is there going to be stuff going on during the week? You know, a lot of stuff, probably not, but
I mean,
Probably
nothing,
over
nothing,
here, maybe.
nothing
Yeah,
where we
over
would have. I mean, we're not going to have tournaments in Monday through Friday,
that, yeah.
even in the summer. I mean,
Right.
that's not what wouldn't happen because, I mean, parents work, so I mean, their kids.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all weekend stuff.
and not a lot.
And the only time I would see it being a problem with people is in wintertime where we're accessing our, snow plows,
Yeah,
or unless there was an emergency.
right.
But then that's why I was also thinking if we kept these offices open, and maybe like that was your water department office that was up here now versus in a separate,
Well, it's going to be all street. I mean, the water office is here at the plant.
So yeah, I mean they're already there.
Yeah.
So
So basically, it's going to house the street, the dump trucks, the backhoes, the excavator, the trailers, the new John Deere, you know, the water van will be there because there's no place to put a water van here, so it's parked in the metal building up here,
hmm
you know, with the rest of the trucks.
So if we're able to get the access road, if they're willing to do that, I think we should.
is this Blair?
No, it's not Blair.
No.
It's actually a company that, according to the auditor's thing, when you click on it, it's some company out of, the address is South Charleston.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
I don't know.
it's only because, yeah.
And who owns the pond then?
I just assumed it was on that piece of land, I guess, I don't know.
There's a separate.
Yeah.